It's been too long. Welcome into Philadelphia Eagles Now, live here on Chat Sports. No matter where you are, how you're tuned in, appreciate all of you for making today's show a part of your day. I'm Chase Sr. Alongside me is my right-hand man, the homie, the legend, producer, Trizzy Trace, and all of you rocking with us as well. So much to get to on today's show. All the latest happenings around this football team. It's Philadelphia Eagles Now by Chat Sports. Let's get to it. It has been a minute since we've done a live show. It's actually been since the NFL draft. I've been so tied up with so much of our NBA coverage, covering the Sixers, covering the Warriors, all teams across the NBA playoffs. I was doing the Lakers-Nuggets playoff series. So that's why I wasn't able to go live for a little while, but we're back. So if you missed us going live, type me down in the comment section right now. We'll give you some shout-outs. I do know some of you were asking about that in the comment section. Elijah Stovall is here, Cool Rains, Kane Angel, Billy Bolden, Yoni Snipe, all typing that me. We have Ernesto Ojeda, Melvin Ford is in the house, Tommy Velasquez, Elijah Stovall giving us that LFG. Now, I do want you to take a guess here with our next question as people start to get that notification and then they pile in here. It's going to be an Eagles Now party. Trace and I are trying to use this as our happy hour, so let's get to it. Will the Eagles win over or under 11.5 games? They had a league best 14 wins last year, tied with the Kansas City Chiefs, and their number this year has been set as of right now at 11.5. So O for over, U for under. Let's see. Jeff Ham saying, miss the live. Yes, tequila. You love it. Ryan Rowe, happy to see you again. Cool Rains over, Melvin Ford over, Antonio over, Bill over 11.5, Erkin over, Johnny over, Romeo going over as well. Lion Fighter, LFX is in the house. The Chef Matt over as well. Marvin over. Isaiah over. I have not seen one U. I do think the Eagles win about 12 games. That's kind of the number that I've thrown out there. 11, 12, 13, somewhere in that range. It is very, very difficult to duplicate back-to-back 14-win seasons. A couple of reasons for that. Schedule gets a little bit more difficult. You have the injury luck, the mental turnover of being in the Super Bowl and then having to get over that the following year with there being a little bit of that Super Bowl hangover. Antonio, I think 12-13, I like that. Cool Rains, Aussie, oi, 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 have them winning 13. Brosis Max, 12-13, also a real one. We have a lot of real ones here in the house. Everybody watching, of course, is definitely a real one, but some really, really real ones are in the building, including Lion Fighter LFX getting us a $5 super chat here. Real one, roll call. Been too long since we've been able to do that here on Philadelphia Eagles Now. I was live earlier this week on the 49ers Report. I know a lot of you don't like that, but it is fun to be able to cover the NFL, two of the top teams in the NFC. We got $640 in Super Chats on that show. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to rival that on today's show either, but you know that we're always down to have a good time, and we're here to give you great content as well. And we want you to be a part of our content. Use the hashtag Eagles or Super Chat to get featured here on the live program. That's hashtag Eagles or Super Chat to get featured here on the show. Lion Fighter getting things kicked off with that $5 Super Chat. We're going to ring the Liberty Bell here because Philadelphia is America's birthplace and used to be our nation's capital until D.C. took it away. Absolute crime. But we have the Liberty Bell. So every $5 Super Chat, we'll do the Liberty Bell ring. $10, we'll do a beer cheers, either myself or Trace. $20, Trace has to take some shots. Oh! $50 a beer bong or a funnel, $100 shotgun in sub 4 seconds. I guarantee you it'll be the fastest shotgun that you ever see. The real ones know. Romeo! $50 super chat. Real one. Let's go Eagles.
Let's go.
You know what we have to do now? E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles! Let's go. Romeo, appreciate that. We're going to get the beer bong ready here.
I got my funnel right here. If
you want to do the funnel real quick?
I can rip a funnel.
Trace will do the funnel.
It's been a minute.
Trace will do the funnel. I'll do my beer bong once we get to 100 total or something like that, or if we get another 50, I'm the next man up. So Trace will do his freedom funnel.
Hey, cheers,
Out
Romeo.
of course, the Eagle. The Adrian Hawthorne, if you're watching and if you still want that, please let us know. Romeo from Jeff Ham, Cool Range, Chase and Trace. We've missed that so much. Yes, we have. Kane Angel already getting that hashtag Eagles in. Romeo, where's Izzy B at? I'm not sure where Izzy B is at. I have no idea where the Izzle is.
In the 49ers report chat, she might have found a date.
Yeah, that's true. She was flirting with some people over on the other chat. Romeo LFX, thank you so much for your donations. We showed you that super chat menu there. We'll show it to you once again. 5, ring the Liberty Bell. 10, beer cheers. 20, Trace shots. 50, beer bong or a funnel. $100 super chat. I'll shotgun a beer in sub 4 seconds. Elijah! 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 Elijah!
Let's go!
250 burgers here in just a couple of moments. Elijah, how laughable is it that the Commanders have lost their patent application? It's hilarious. And if they don't figure out a deal in that legal situation, they might have to change their name again. And honestly, I think that the Washington football team is a better name than the Washington Commanders.
So
you can make so many commies jokes. It's lame. I know Washington football team kind of sounds like an actual soccer team, but I think it's better than the Commanders, which is so corny.
What is this whole patent thing? I haven't seen it.
So somebody else had the patent of Commanders. So the actual football team is probably going to have to pay them a lot of money to hold on to that name. So that would be Redskins, Washington football team, Commanders, all over the span of just a couple of years here. 3 different names. Can you imagine the merchandise disaster that is? Of if you're a fan of the team, you're getting all this different merchandise, and you don't even know what the hell the football team is called.
If you did get a Commanders jersey and have to change it, might be like a cool jersey to have in 30 years, though, just because they wouldn't be making them anymore.
Yeah. It's
still, but poverty franchises stay poverty franchises.
It's hilarious either way. Doggy Duo with the $2 super chat. I just spilled beer all over my phone.
School is out it was almost out, not tomorrow. Almost out.
School's almost out for the summer. There you go, Doggy Duo. Teacher watches the show now. Elijah, Romeo, Doggy Duo, LFX. This is for you.
Adrian. Billy Bolden wants a nickname. We could call him Billy the Birdman Bolden.
Billy the Birdman Bolden.
How you like that?
I like that. Billy the Birdman Bolden. Make that your username now, Billy. Romeo, we're about to talk about Julio Jones, actually. If you're ready to start the show, make sure you hit that thumbs up icon. You like the video. It's been way too long since we've been live here on the program. I'm so excited to talk some birds here. Had to throw on the polo as well, looking like Nick Sirianni out on these streets, rocking the coach's polo today. 4 segments to get to today. So will you say it again, please? Billy, the Birdman, Bolden. If you're ready to start the show, clap it up, hit that thumbs up icon, like the video. 60 people watching live, 27 likes. The more likes that we get, the more people that come in, the bigger that the party is. So what we're going to start off with here, Eagles' interest, potentially, in Julio Jones, and then also Nolan Smith, Jalen Carter, impressing their teammates here in the early going. Philadelphia Eagles now is live, and the official show starts right now. Could the Philadelphia Eagles sign Julio Jones as a depth wide receiver in NFL free agency? We're going to start today's show with that. This is Philadelphia Eagles Now by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Sr. Appreciate all of you for being here with us. On the back end of the show, stay tuned because Nolan Smith, Jalen Carter, really impressing their teammates here in the early going. USA Today with this, that if the Eagles give Julio Jones a call, he would be willing to potentially reunite with his Tennessee Titans teammate in A.J. Brown and probably be like wide receiver 4, wide receiver 5 on this roster. Always a nice little problem to have when a future Hall of Famer is that deep on the depth chart if it does happen. Before we dive into all of this, though, who is your favorite Eagles player of all time? There have been so many iconic Philadelphia Eagles who have played in the Midnight Green, Kelly Green back in the day for what is a historic franchise, not just in the NFL, but all of sports. Drop me that name right now in the comment section. And Brian Dawkins, by far and away, my favorite Eagle of all time. He exemplified what it's like to be an Eagle. Hard-nosed, blue-collar, lunch pail to work, never scared, always gave 110%, and was an absolute dog. B-Dog, he's been the background of my cell phone for the last several years. Favorite Eagle of all time. Let me know yours down below. Interested to go back and see what you all come up with. So, with Julio Jones, the signing of Julio Jones sounds a lot of fun, right? Because we remember what he did with the Atlanta Falcons. Remember that touchdown pull away on, I believe, the 4th down back a couple years ago down in the ATL where the Eagles secondary just got dusted as he kind of turned around, put on the Jets, and pulled away. He was great for so long. He's no longer that player. He's been a shell of himself for a little while. Now, you look at the accolades, right? 2-time first-team All-Pro, 3-time second-team All-Pro, a 7-time Pro Bowler. He led the NFL in receiving yards twice, and he is currently 16th all-time in receiving yards in the history of the NFL. His career numbers really are eye-popping. 903 total catches for more than 14,000 yards. Think about how many miles that is, right? 15 yards per catch and 63 touchdowns. To start his career coming out of Alabama up until 2019, his per-season averages were also astonishing. This guy was used so much by that Atlanta Falcons offense, and he was a big reason why Matt Ryan, Philly area guy, became the MVP back a few years ago. He averaged, during that time frame, 139 targets per season, 88 grabs per year for more than 1,300 yards and 6 touchdowns. That's great. You know what's not great? Him barely playing from 2020 to 2022. He's missed a lot of time. None of these injuries really all that catastrophic, just lingering injury issues that have been of the hamstring variety, something that nags him. But over the last 3 years, with Atlanta, Tennessee, and Tampa Bay, he has averaged under 10 games played per year, only 53 targets per season, 35 catches, and 501 yards. A far cry from what we've been accustomed to seeing from Julio Jones. Here's that portion from USA Today, that if the Philadelphia Eagles gave him a call, he could reunite with former Titans teammate A.J. Brown and give Philadelphia a spectacular depth addition to its receiving group. Jones's health has been a point of concern in recent years, but Philadelphia is deep enough at the position to give the former Atlanta Falcons star the limited reps. He'd need to really make an impact and stay as healthy as possible. While the Eagles have a very good receiver room as it is, adding Julio Jones is kind of a luxury move a team like this makes to further elevate its Super Bowl potential. But I disagree with that last point there. You don't sign a player just because of the power of the name and what they've done in the past. You sign a player for what they can do now, in the immediacy of the moment. What is their value to the team? And I don't know if Julio Jones would be able to elevate this football team. Where would he fit in this wide receiver room into the equation here? A.J. Brown, baller. Devontae Smith, stud. Olamide Zaccheaus, underrated. Quez Watkins, can he finally put it all together from a guy who's been known to be a training camp preseason star and actually translate that to the regular season where he can make plays a little bit more consistently? Speaking of A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, If you think those two are the best wide receiver duo in the NFL, I need you to hit that thumbs up icon and like the video. What's a better one? I don't know if you can find two wide receivers who are as good, as elite, as well-rounded, as polished as A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Let's round out the show with this. Some of the rookies on this Eagles team getting some rave reviews throughout rookie minicamp. In particular, it's the 2 first-round picks in Jalen Carter at number 9, and then the steal of Nolan Smith at pick number 30. Josh Sweat, very complimentary of both of them, who happen to also play on the defensive line with Josh Sweat. Look at Nolan Smith here. I was told going into the draft, and I even said this a couple of times, that he was a little bit undersized, but people were calling him undersized. I defended him because I said he's like right around the same weight as Hassan Reddick. This dude looks yoked right here. He has veins coming out of his wrists. How is that even possible? Does he look like a guy who's undersized? He looks like a dude who's in shape. So that's him. How about Jalen Carter? Jalen Carter looks like a handful for any opposing offensive lineman who's going to have to defend him either on the interior, but he can also pop out to the edge as well. I can't wait to see what his versatility is. As for what Josh Sweat said specifically about his new teammates along that front, the work ethic is pretty crazy for both of them. They're already working. Shoot, they're professionals, man. Like, it's actually surprising coming out of college, but they're working. They're just here to learn, and they're making improvements quickly. And that's a really, really great sign, because for both of these players in their rookie campaigns, they're going to have to make immediate impacts just because of what has transpired on the defensive line, losing a guy like Javon Hargrave, needing an edge rusher depth piece along that front as well, and you get that in Nolan Smith, who's pretty much Hassan Reddick's backup. For the Philadelphia Eagles to be as successful in 2023 as they were in 2022, they're going to have to lean on a couple of young players to make monumental steps forward. Jordan Davis heading into year 2, Nakobe Dean going into year 2, but also Jalen Carter as a rookie and Nolan Smith as a rookie as well. I think all 4 of those players could fulfill major roles for this defense that was top 5, top 10 statistically in almost every major category in 2022, and was a big reason why the Eagles were able to make it to the Super Bowl last year. In particular, Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith are key additions to what I believe is the deepest defensive line in football that is so multiple and is about 8 to 10 guys deep up front. And you're going to be able to keep them fresh throughout the regular season if everybody's able to stay healthy so that they are fresh and they are fine-tuned for when the playoffs come around. Because what do I believe is one of the most important elements of a football team? It's getting after the opposing quarterback. And the Eagles are going to be able to do that with all of the talent in the trenches. You have Brandon Graham, who had 11 sacks last year, Fletcher Cox, who had 7. Jordan Davis is said to be taking massive strides. Josh Sweat coming off a career year. So too is Hassan Reddick, who had 16 sacks, 19 and a half, combined with the postseason and regular season. He said his best is yet to come. And then on that second-string defensive line, Milton Williams, I think, is a good backup piece. Kentavious Street, they signed as a backup. Jalen Carter, backup. Nolan Smith, backup. And I do believe that Derek Barnett does have some good football inside of him. Very, very exciting times for this organization. A blend of older players and younger players as well. If you want to interact with me to talk birds, do so on Twitter and Instagram at Chase_Senior. Same handle on both social media platforms. Appreciate y'all for watching the show. Don't forget to subscribe. EAGLES. Your favorite Eagles player of all time, who is it? Let us know. And Adam Singleton went wild. He just sent in $70 in Super Chats. Adam, you are a legend, my guy. Here's the 50. I missed you guys. You guys are real ones. Real one roll call. And then he sent in a couple of 20s. Trace, I don't even know if he said anything. I saw all these colors flashing, and I'm like,
fly, Eagles, fly.
Yo, fly, Eagles, fly on the road to victory. Fight, Eagles, fight. Score a touchdown, 1, 2, 3. Hit 'em low, hit 'em high, and watch our Eagles fly. Fly, Eagles, fly on the road to victory. E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles! Billy the Birdman Bolden. He switched the name, and we see it, my guy. That's absolutely awesome. Elijah Stovall, going to call it. Our defensive line going to average 7.5 sacks per player by the end of the season. That's interesting because median averages, right? You could have Reddick getting like 16, Brandon Graham, Josh Sweat in double digits, maybe Fletcher Cox, maybe Jordan Davis get a few in there as well, and then that defensive line able to average about 7.5. That would be pretty damn cool. All right, so we had the 50 that came in. We had 220. So Trace has to take 2 shots. What kind of whiskey you got today?
PB&J.
Peanut butter whiskey today.
And Fireball.
And the Fireball. I'm going to do another beer bong. Or you know what? I said if we got to, 100, I would shotgun. So I'll shotgun. You have a Happy Dad over there?
I do.
I'll shotgun a Happy Dad real quick.
You want?
Billy the Birdman. I do like it. I do like the name.
All right. If we can get, we're about $104 away. If we can get to $300, I'm going to take off this ugly Cowboys blue polo and go put on my Eagles jersey.
Vineyard Vines or?
Crown and Ivy.
Nice.
Crown and Ivy.
I thought it was that whale for a second.
Yeah. Kind of.
Well, the cord was over it, so I wasn't sure. Hey, so instead of the beer bong or the funnel for Adam, I'm just going to do the shotgun. So. Appreciate y'all, man.
Billy,
this is absolutely awesome to be back live.
Billy, we love the name. Chase, you ready to roll?
I'm ready to roll.
Rip it, tip it, sip it,
Rip
baby.
it, tip it, sip it. I got to make the hole a little bit bigger. Pause.
You gotta
we got to go under 4. That was the deal for the people. So it's got to be under 4 seconds here. Trace is going to time it on the crack. On the crack, on the crack, on the crack. Pause.
We love a big hole on the crack. Spam chug in the comment section. Ready for the reveal?
I think it's under 4, right? 3.4?
3.4.
Hell yeah.
It's clockwork out here.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah, brother.
Nick Stone, I miss these live videos. I miss you, my guy. I miss you, brother.
We missed y'all so much.
Whew, that one hurt.
It was cold, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was very cold.
Brutal.
All right, coming up next on the show. There we go. Need to get that one out there. Yeah, yep. So if y'all have questions, #Eagles. I know we have a couple that did come in. We can use some of the super chats as well that pertained questions and included questions. But if you want your questions, your takes, your comments, whatever, featured on Philadelphia Eagles Now, use the #Eagles right now, and we'll get them on the show. Next shift, you did it. I know Elijah a little bit earlier. We had Romeo earlier using #Eagles, so I think we're good. I think we got a few. Son Jack, whoa, we drinking beer and talking birds? Hell yeah, brother. Trace already did a freedom funnel. I did a beer bong, shotgun, and we keep it moving. This is the place for the people, my guy. Son Jack, good to see you.
Hey, Billy, you can use #Eagles and ask a question. That way you can get up on the show, my man.
Yeah, Billy the Birdman Bolden. Billy the Birdman Bolden. If you want to ask a question, just use #Eagles. So we'll get you on there. All right. So mailbag coming up next. This is going to be our second of 4 segments. Continue to hang out with us. Why would you hang out with any other YouTube channel? It's Philadelphia Eagles Now. Let's do it. This is Philadelphia Eagles Now by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Senior coming your way on today's show. Going to go over all of the latest Eagles news and rumors, take some questions from the audience as well. Today's show is sponsored by Kanzuri. 15% off if you use the promo code CHAT at kanzuri.com/chat. We'll put that link in the comment section and in the description of this video, and we'll tell you more about them coming up here in just a little while. So we've opened up the floor for everybody out there because there's a lot of interesting stuff to talk about, and we want to show love to all of our loyal subscribers who tune into our live shows and have some questions about the birds. So let's start off with this one. And I'm not going to say the name because you're trying to get me got, and I know that you're going to screen record that, probably tweet it out, and it wouldn't make me look good. But I think his name is Harry. Hear me out, Harry. Should the Eagles trade Dallas Goedert to save money? Interesting. Dan Arnold, Grant Calcaterra, Jack Stoll, and Tyree Jackson are solid. I would not trade Dallas Goedert. I do see where you're coming from. We do have his numbers in our database as well as his contractual figures because we're built different here at Chat Sports. Dallas Goedert over the last 4 years has been a critical part of this Eagles offense. You might look at the numbers and say that he hasn't necessarily lived up to expectations since signing that large contract. I'm here to tell you that Dallas Goedert is one of the best all-around, well-rounded tight ends in the NFL, and his impact isn't always shown on the stat sheet because of how good of a blocker he is, how much demand he gets from opposing defenses as far as attention goes, and to have a tight end like this alongside A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith is really, really important for what the Eagles want to do. I'm 31 years old. The Eagles have always had marquee tight ends playing for their franchise. You know, you think about it, Chad Lewis when I was growing up, there was a little bit of a break there. Then they got Brent Selleck, Zach Ertz. Now they have Dallas Goedert. While I like the backups at tight end on this Eagles roster, as you said, Harry, I don't think that they are capable of being a number one tight end. Also keep in mind that the Eagles like to run a lot of 12 personnel, 2 tight end sets. Now what's interesting about you bringing that up is Dallas Goedert in 2023, $1 million base salary, $6.5 million on the cap. That is so affordable. That's a steal. That's a classic Howie Roseman deal right here. But why you might want to think about trading Goedert from your perspective, Harry, is because the salary does increase a lot. I mean, the base salary goes up multiplied by 13 from $1 to $14 million. And then the cap hit more than triples, right? From $6.5 million to $19.5 million in 2024. That is a lot of money to pay a tight end. And then those contractual numbers are the same in 2025. What I imagine Howie Roseman is going to do, find a way to restructure this contract, take some of it, turn it into a signing bonus. He's done this with so many players to lower that cap hit and or that base salary a little bit. 2026 will be 33 years old. Tight ends do age well, though. I know he's a little bit of a late bloomer just because he was behind Zach Ertz for a little while, but Dallas Goedert is a critical element to what the Eagles do and how they do it. I think that he is safe here in Philadelphia. Let me challenge you with this question, though. Dallas Goedert is a top blank tight end in the NFL. There are some really, really good ones. Travis Kelce, George Kittle, Mark Andrews, Dallas Goedert, just to name a few. One of them is in this division now, and a guy like Darren Waller, fill in the blank. Now, as I mentioned off the top of the show, Philadelphia Eagles now is presented by Kanzuri. These shoes are fresh here to my right. And for those of you who are lacking some confidence, if you're a little bit short with your height, Kanzuri can certainly help you out. Use the promo code CHAT for 15% off at kanzuri.com/chat. Fellas, are you tired of feeling insecure about that height? Kanzuri makes shoes that can add up to 2.8 inches to your height, and it can do it discreetly. Women, when you think about it, they get heels, makeup, push-up bras. Why can't men get a confidence boost as well? We're all the same height lying down anyway, if you know what I mean. Kanzuri shoes, not only height boosting, but also stylish and comfortable. They're not grandpa's Velcro shoes, but fashionable shoes that can receive compliments even without the height increase. The height insoles integrated into the shoes, making it the ultimate height hack. And for a limited time only, Kanzuri is offering our viewers of Eagles Now an exclusive discount of 15% on top of their up to 30% site-wide discount. Use the code CHAT at kanzuri.com/chat to get your 45% off. Don't wait any longer. Upgrade your shoe game and your confidence now at kanzuri.com/chat. Next question here. Let the boy watch. Should the Eagles sign Marcus Peters? I'm somewhat surprised that Marcus Peters is still out there on the free agency market. He is coming off a couple of injury-plagued seasons. I know that sometimes he can lash out on that sideline. I'm more of an advocate of liking some of that confidence and some of that swagger. He's been getting it done for a really, really long time. When you look at his pass breakup numbers to start his career, they were excellent with the Kansas City Chiefs, like 26-20, virtually unheard of. Goes down to 9. The Chiefs kind of grew tired of his antics. They gave him away to the Los Angeles Rams in 2018. This is a guy who has a knack for making big plays on the football. I will say, and this name obviously familiar to a lot of Eagles fans out there, has some Asante Samuel in his game where he is definitely a risk taker, where sometimes he can get baited into biting on things, and then you're able to hit him with that double move and they hit you with the big play. But Marcus Peters is a solid player. At the very worst, he would add depth to your team. I do think, though, that in this secondary for the Eagles, as we continue to filter through his stats here, they have some pretty good depth on this team, and especially in the secondary. Like, how much is Greedy Williams going to be able to play? Is Zach McPherson going to be able to see the field, or is he going to continue to be a special teams ace for this football team? All worthy questions right there. Nick Stone, do you think the Eagles will make one more roster move prior to the start of the season? I do. I think they can add some depth somewhere. If they can get a marquee veteran at a cheap price, Howie Roseman's always willing to do that. I'm also not going to rule out a trade for a big-time player out there. Why? Howie Roseman, always very, very aggressive. Kane Angel, one of our loyal subscribers here. Does anyone think that DJ Fluker will sign with the Eagles next draft season? I don't think it'll happen next draft season. He worked out for the Eagles the other day, this past week, and I'm intrigued by this. DJ Fluker, former high-round pick out of Alabama. His career didn't get off to a great start, but I'm sure that he wants to continue his career after not playing the last couple of years with a guy like Jeff Stoutland, who's the best offensive line coach in the NFL. Fluker can play tackle. He can play guard. That versatility as a backup, I'm actually pretty intrigued. Romeo, what y'all think about Julio Jones to the Eagles? I saw that rumor today. Not interested, as he seems to be more injury-prone the last few years. Yeah, we talked about this in depth earlier on Eagles Now, and I'm with you. Like, the reason why I'm not in on Julio Jones is because of the injury issues. The last 3 years, he has averaged less than 10 games per year. That's really, really problematic. Kane Angel, Derrick Henry, will he not join the Eagles for this upcoming season? No, Derrick Henry is not going to go to the Eagles. And let me tell you why. Howie Roseman has done a masterful job at that running back position. He's paying minimal money combined to DeAndre Swift, Rashaad Penny, Kenneth Gainwell, and Boston Scott. 4 really good backs as part of your rotation, all of them a little bit different as well. Derrick Henry, expensive, older player. I also don't think he's a scheme fit either. Cool Reigns, your prediction on who will have a breakout season. That's a good one. Couple of guys who immediately come to mind here. Nakobe Dean, Jordan Davis, and I'm not going to go with the rookie because that's unfair, because how can you break out if we don't know what you can do yet? So those are 2 players right there. How about Reed Blankenship as well? And then a sneaky one, Cam Jurgens at right guard. My breakout candidates for Philly. Billy, the Birdman, Bolden. What a name. I love that picture of Jalen Hurts as well. What do you think the Eagles season will be like this year? They're the best team in the NFC, in my opinion. It's the Eagles, and it's a team that they beat and crushed in the NFC Championship game in the San Francisco 49ers. After that, I think there's a little bit of a drop-off to a team like the Dallas Cowboys, Detroit Lions. If the Eagles are able to stay healthy, there's no reason why they cannot get back to the Super Bowl. They should. The conference is theirs. The division should be theirs. It all comes down to the mentality, but I have trusted Nick Sirianni to have these guys thinking straight. Lion Fighter, do you think we make any more moves at safety? Budda Baker is interesting to me. That's for sure. A Budda Baker trade would be sick. They address safety in free agency and in the draft. Terrell Edmonds, Justin Evans, cheap free agency options. They drafted Sidney Brown. So I think they're trying to be financially smart here at that position, at a position that they've really always valued within this organization. Like Jeffrey Lurie has overseen this. Brian Dawkins, Malcolm Jenkins, C.J. Gardner-Johnson. what's that next wave? What's that next era look like? Roddy McLeod, they paid him big money, which then he was able to help out that Super Bowl team as well. So I would think about it, but from a financial standpoint, I don't know if they do or not. But Budda Baker, if you're trying to make a splash, shoot, do it. Make sure you subscribe to the show. It's Philadelphia Eagles Now, year-round content. Videos coming your way every day. Insightful, informative coverage here of the Birds. Thanks for watching. Good stuff. Good questions. Appreciate all of the insight from everybody there. That's awesome. Yeah, Josh Fever saying, we got greedy, we're good. And you're talking about Greedy Williams, not that the Eagles actually got greedy. That's a good depth piece in that secondary. I really do believe that. Elijah, what do you think about the signing of Ty Zentner? Serious punter battle? Yes. Yes. I think that Aaron Sipos is on the hot seat. Ty Zentner has a really powerful leg. He can also kick as well, but obviously you have Jake Elliott to do that. At Kansas State, he displayed some really good ability with that leg. I think he's going to make a run for Aaron Sipos' money. And if I can put together like a bold prediction here, I'm going to say that Tyler Zentner is actually going to be the starting punter for this team come day one. That's what I'm going with. Elijah, you know ball. Here's our Super Chat menu. We are $4 away from getting the $200 in Super Chats here on the show. If we get a 5, we'll ring the Liberty Bell. We're able to surpass that number. $10 beer cheers, $20 Trace will take some shots for a 50 beer bong or a funnel, $100 shotgun in sub 4 seconds. That right there is our Super Chat menu. And of course, if you want to join the show, get your questions answered like we just ran through all of those questions, it's hashtag Eagles or Super Chat. With all of the comments that come in, it allows us to kind of filter through everything, able to see those questions a little bit more easier. So 2 more segments to get to, 2 more segments to talk about, and 2 segments in the canister so far. We're going to go through cut candidates, and then we're going to go through players who the Eagles could trade away who are currently on this roster right now. Still a lot of good stuff to get to here live on Philadelphia Eagles Now. Thanks to everybody for being here with us. We're down to continue the party, man, because we're having a grand time today. $4 away from $200 in Super Chats. If we get there, we'll ring the bell. We'll continue to drink because it's Eagles Now happy hour. And after our segments are over, we're down for a little Eagles Now happy hour as well. All of your tips, your donations, they go a long way in supporting everything that we do. Sometimes we work 6-7 days a week to get rewarded with some of the Super Chats. Does make us feel good because we know y'all really do appreciate that content. So coming up next, Eagles cut candidates. That's what we're diving into. So without further ado, let's take a look at this list that I put together. Coming up on today's Philadelphia Eagles Now, Eagles cut candidates. A couple of players who could be battling for roster positions on the wrong side of the roster bubble, and players who might have a better opportunity to get some playing time elsewhere with a different team across the National Football League. Before we look at that list, do us a favor, make sure you subscribe to the show, and you can do yourselves a favor, because if you want Eagles coverage that comes your way daily and year-round, that's insightful and informative, that's what we do. We're also pretty entertaining as well. At least we like to think so, because sometimes we can be funny. We're on the road to 50,000 subscribers. We are less than 5,000 people away. Hit that sub button, and as always, fly Eagles fly. Today's show wouldn't be made possible if it wasn't for our friends at iHerb. I use iHerb a lot to get my supplements as well as my vitamins, including some really marquee brands like Vital Proteins. Me getting my collagen peptides allows me to bounce back from some of the long runs that I go on. I put this in my coffee. It really does help me with my joint support. 22% off with the promo code chat at iHerb.com. Are you looking for top tier sports nutrition products? Look no further than iHerb, your one-stop shop for all of your health and wellness needs. With so many options out there, it can honestly be daunting to find products that align with your fitness goals. It can also be daunting to go onto a website with so many products if it's not easy to sort through everything. iHerb takes care of all of that for you. They ensure product quality by shipping from climate-controlled fulfillment centers, guaranteeing first-rate condition. Every product stored and shipped exclusively by iHerb, no third-party sellers, and free shipping is available on purchases over $20. That's a steal. Trust iHerb. Over 11 million customers have found the best products, backed by 24 million reviews, 1.3 million five-star ratings. If you're an athlete or a fan, iHerb keeps your health in check. Take your sports nutrition game to the next level by going to iHerb.com. Promo code chat for 22% off your first order. That's IHERB.com. Promo code chat. We're going to put that link in the comment section and in the description of this video. Choose iHerb because wellness certainly matters. And as I said, some of the marquee name brands, really important to me because I want to know exactly what I'm getting. Vital Protein's one of the supplements that I take. Also Amazing Green, something else that I've gotten from iHerb as well. Able to save some money, and even more so with that discount code, promo code chat, 22% off your vitamins and supplements. All right, let's take a look at these Eagles cut candidates. A couple of players who I want to talk about here. Elijah Stovall, thank you for those two $20 super chats. We'll get to those after this segment. Let's begin with Ian Book. And let me explain why Ian Book could get cut by Philadelphia. Remember who the Eagles drafted in the 6th round back at the end of April? Tanner McKee, the quarterback out of Stanford, who has ability, but he played in an offense that was so mundane, so boring. But with this offense in Philadelphia, I actually am excited to see what he can do in the preseason. McKee and Book, they're going to battle it out in the preseason. McKee has better size. He has a better arm. I think he's the better overall quarterback than Ian Book, who is more of an athlete and a guy who sometimes reverts to running the football, and that's what he showed at Notre Dame and also when he got in a couple of years ago with the New Orleans Saints. Tanner McKee, great size profile. 6'6", really big hands, and also a pretty strong arm. Last year at Stanford, the numbers were not great by any means. 13 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. I think that was because David Shaw just kind of mailed it in to a certain degree. That offense was archaic. The completion percentage, 62. Again, though, the recruiting has tailed off for Stanford, a team that we became accustomed to seeing as a power in the Pac-12. They haven't been that in a long time. Ian Book could be on the outside looking in. So too could Trey Sermon, just because of the running back room being so stacked for Philadelphia after the acquisition during the draft and the trade for DeAndre Swift, as well as the Eagles signing Rashaad Penny in free agency and re-signing Boston Scott. After the trade for Swift, where does Trey Sermon fit in? I don't think the Eagles are going to maintain 5 running backs on the 53-man roster because they're deeper at other positions of more importance. Trey Sermon, former 3rd-round pick, hasn't done much either to earn a roster spot. Got that couple of carries against the Jacksonville Jaguars at a rain-soaked Lincoln Financial Field last year. That's about it. He will have to have a big preseason to convince the Eagles to keep him because these 4 running backs are where it's at. DeAndre Swift, Kenneth Gainwell, Rashaad Penny, I think they're really going to share the workload of getting the most carries. But then Boston Scott, he's a really capable player, as has been evidenced by what he's been able to do in his entire NFL career. And of course, when you play the New York Giants, got to put him into the lineup because Boston Scott is the Giant Slayer. First 3 years for DeAndre Swift. If you're not familiar with him, go back and look at what he did at Georgia. Look at what he's been able to do so far in his NFL career. He led all running backs in yards per touch last year. That's running the football and catching the football. He's been a little bit banged up. That hasn't necessarily kept him from playing a lot of games. It has impacted his workload to a certain degree. But with that workload coming to Philadelphia and in a contract year, first of all, you're not going to give him a bevy or all of the carries and use him as a 3-down running back because you have other running backs who can also come in and take a little bit of pressure off of his shoulders. So DeAndre Swift, a stud. I think he's going to break out, have the best year of his career this year, given the contract situation. But I also think that this Eagles ground game could run crazy here in 2023 by that running back by committee approach. Who will have the most carries for the Eagles this year? Don't say Jalen Hurts and cheat, because I don't think it's going to be him. I hope so. You got to keep your quarterback upright. Who will have the most carries this year? I've asked you before, who has the most rushing yards? Who has the most carries, though? Drop me a name right now. Kevon Wallace at safety. You think about what the Eagles did in free agency. Signed Terrell Edmonds, signed Justin Evans. Then in the NFL draft, they used a third-round pick on Sidney Brown, who Eagles fans, I guarantee you this, are really, really going to like. Sidney Brown is a guy who's maximized his physical profile. He's cut, he's ripped, he's in great shape. He plays really, really hard. He's a physical safety. So now you're looking at a safety room that's a little bit loaded. And where does Kevon Wallace fill in? Because Reed Blankenship is penciled in to start. Wallace could benefit from going to another team just to get more PT. PT equals playing time. And for him, maybe that's something that he deserves, right? And this isn't a byproduct of him being a bad player. I don't think he's a bad player, although in the preseason last year, we did see him get burned by Tyreek Hill. He doesn't have elite speed by any means, but you can get away with letting him go and just allowing him to find a better job elsewhere, because Edmonds, Blankenship going to be your starting strong safety and free safety. Justin Evans you brought in as a backup as well, and then you have Sidney Brown. So I'm interested to see what happens at that safety position as far as the depth pieces go. To Wallace's credit, a lot of people thought that because Howie Roseman used a decent draft pick on him coming out of Clemson, he was going to be a starter. He's had opportunities to start, hasn't necessarily gotten that role, but last year he played solid, didn't miss a tackle. Pretty good for him. If you want to interact with me, on Twitter and Instagram, you can find me here on Twitter and IG at Chase_Senior. It is the same handle on both social media platforms. Let me know if you like the show. If you want to talk Eagles, talk NBA, talk college football, health, wellness, whatever. I'm into it all. Hit me up, slide in DMs, give me a follow. Marlon Tuipulotu. He could also be cut. And what is the theme here for these cut candidates? Deep at quarterback, deep at running back, somewhat solid at safety, although you could use like more talent, I guess, at safety, but it's not like Kevon Wallace is overly talented. But you can't say the same about this defensive line room. Eagles' first-string defensive line, stacked. Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox, Jordan Davis, Josh Sweat, Hassan Reddick. That's one of the top five-man fronts in the NFL. And then their second-string defensive line. Are there a lot of teams across the NFL who have this much depth as their second string? Derek Barnett, there is a good player in there. I do firmly believe that. If you're watching our live show, I will explain. Jalen Carter been impressing his teammates so far. Milton Williams flashed at the end of last year. Janarius Robinson, Contavious Street, also good backups. And then you have Nolan Smith, who's looking straight up yoked from minicamp so far. So you tell me. We talked about a couple of players who could get cut. Which of these players more likely to get cut? Share your thoughts down below in the comment section. All right, great live show today. Great audience interaction, viewer participation. Couple of super chats coming in from Elijah there. Just a couple of 20 pieces. The silent assassin, Elijah Stovall. 220s, that's 2 Trey shots. So he'll do those here in a little while. It's the whiskey that he has working today. Cool Rain said book.
Wildly overdue.
Wildly overdue.
We're overdue for a live.
Getting the pregame going. Overdue for a live. Those are facts. Philly Big Dog, I would love if Howie got Yannick Ngakoue and traded for Budda Baker. Yeah, that'd be a dream. Position of importance at defensive end, not necessarily a need. And then Budda Baker, a stud as well. Yannick Ngakoue, every year he's been in the league. He's been in the league for a minute too. At least 8 sacks. Bad against the run. You know what I care about though? Pressure the opposing quarterback. That's all you got to do. Here's our super chat menu. Trace took those 2 shots because Elijah Stovall sent in those 2 $20 super chats. We're past $200 in overall super chats, up to $237 right now. Got to ring the Liberty Bell, of course. $10 beer cheers, $50 beer bong or a funnel, $100. I'll do a shotgun in sub 4 seconds. One more segment to get to, and then we're down to hang out for a little Eagles Now happy hour, if you so please. So if you want to get on the show, like Elijah, hashtag Eagles or Super Chat to get featured here on the program. So we're going to shift gears from cut candidates to trade candidates. So players who the Eagles could cut going to players the Eagles could trade who are currently on this roster right now. Are y'all ready to dive into this? Can we get to 70 likes? We need 5 more likes to get to 70. Can we get there? We're at 65 right now. Do you want us to do one more segment? Then hit that thumbs up icon and like the video. Billy the Birdman Bolden, Cool Rains, Philly Big Dog, Callie Green, nice. Josh Fever, Vaughn Knows, all in the chat right now. Not another person has liked the video. I'm kind of disappointed. Not sad. I'm just disappointed. You want another segment? You want this knowledge? You want this fire? Like the video. One person did. There we go. We're up to 66. Jeff is in the comments. He's like, dude, thumbs up. Jeff knows. Jeff knows ball. We know ball as well. 69 likes. We can just stop right there if you want. See what I'm saying? All right. Eagles trade candidates, our last and final segment. Then we'll do our Eagles Now happy hour. That's all coming up. Today's Philadelphia Eagles Now is sponsored by Quez. You can get 15% off on their height-boosting shoes using the promo code CHAT at quez.com/chat. We'll tell you more about them coming up around the bend. As for what we're discussing on today's Philadelphia Eagles Now, over the last couple of days, we've talked about players the Eagles could trade for. We've talked about players who the Eagles could cut. How about some players who the Eagles could trade on this roster to get some good value back if they believe those players don't really have a role on this football team, but could go somewhere else and have a bigger role elsewhere? Before we dive into this list, name a player that you think the Eagles could trade. Just give me a name down below in the comment section right now. Treat it like a Sports Talk Radio call-in line, but we're here kicking it live on YouTube. Trade candidate number 1, Rashaad Penny. Yes, Chase, I know. He just signed that deal in NFL free agency. I really like his ability. When he's been able to stay on the field, Rashaad Penny has been a productive running back in this league. The only thing is, hasn't been upright and healthy and intact so far to start his career since being a first-round pick out of San Diego State. What you can't deny is the talent for Rashaad Penny and why he could get traded at some point. If another team really needs a running back, let's say if they suffer a lot of injuries at that position, Penny has all the talent in the world. He can be your lead back. He just needs to stay healthy. And if you were to trade Rashaad Penny away, are you able to survive with the running backs who would be left on the roster? I think the answer to that is yes. DeAndre Swift, he's a really good player. The Philadelphia native who went to St. Joe's Prep is going to be able to display that this year. Kenneth Gainwell was also awesome in the playoffs. He was the most productive running back in the playoffs last year. Look at the numbers. And then Boston Scott as a backup complimentary back, he's always been a valuable asset on this Eagles offense. So for Kenneth Gainwell, I think he's due for a big year. I think DeAndre Swift is due for a big year as well. Can Gainwell's role expand as Miles Sanders left, even though DeAndre Swift is here? I think so. The Eagles clearly like what he can do. Can catch the ball out of the backfield a little bit, out in the flat, on some of those bubble screens. 53 carries last year. I think that he showed in the playoffs that he can be a better running back than that and can get a larger workload and be very productive. I'm not sure he's a 3-down guy because he's a little bit slight with his frame, but that's okay because you have other running backs on this team who can also be very productive, like DeAndre Swift. You look at what he's done in his first 3 years in the league, contract year, motivated to really ball out to get that next payday, which sometimes is rare for a running back trying to get that second deal. Average yards per carry, very good, and his catching ability is really going to excite a lot of Eagles fans out there. Trade candidate number 2, a player who we've talked about a little bit here on the show about getting dealt, and that is Quez Watkins. I've been waiting for Quez to break out, and I'm rooting for Quez to have a really good season because if he's able to do that, he's going to get paid, and he's had some nice moments as a Philadelphia Eagle. He just hasn't put it all together. But behind A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and potentially Olamide Zaccheaus after that signing, could another team give up a lot for Quez to the Eagles' liking? And then he can go there and have a larger role within that offense to help him get paid at some point in the future. The Eagles have a very good wide receiving core. And Quez Watkins might be on the outside looking in. Every team also in the National Football League covets vertical speed. They want a burner. They want a guy in which the safety always has to worry about you over the top, and sometimes you have to shield that safety to that side of the field. And, of course, that is important and valuable to what the Eagles want to do when you have A.J. Brown and you have Devontae Smith. But I'm telling you right now, Olamide Zaccheaus, who, like DeAndre Swift, went to St. Joe's Prep, can be a very viable number 3. I actually think the Eagles have upgraded at wide receiver 3 from last year because I think Zaccheaus is better than Quez, and then Quez has upgraded wide receiver 4 because he is better than Zach Pascal. More trade candidates coming up right around the corner, but first, check out these shoes right here. Really, really fresh, and what's cool about them, athletic shoes, but also Kanzuri, today's sponsor, has dress shoes as well. They have these built-in height-boosting elements to them where you can look a little bit taller for your significant other out there if you're a little bit insecure about that height. The best part about it is you can get up to 45% off using our promo code CHAT. What, Chase? Are you for real? Yes, I would never lie to the homies. Are you tired of feeling insecure about your height? Kanzuri makes shoes that can add up to 2.8 inches to your height discreetly. Women get heels, makeup, push-up bras. Why can't men and the fellas get a confidence boost as well? Kanzuri shoes, not only height boosting, but also stylish and comfortable as we're showing you here. They're not grandpa's Velcro shoes. Come on, that's not going to help you spit game. You know what will, though? Fashionable shoes that can receive compliments even without the height increase. The height insoles integrated into the shoes, making it the ultimate height hack. For a limited time only, Kanzuri offering our viewers an exclusive discount of 15% on top of their up to 30% site-wide discount. How do you get that deal to apply? All you have to do, use the code CHAT at kanzuri.com/chat to get that 45% off. Don't wait any longer. Upgrade your shoe game as well as your confidence now with Kanzuri. Next trade candidate, Derek Barnett. Entering the final year of his contract, Derek Barnett is a player who I do believe hasn't necessarily shown what he's fully capable of doing. Has he been a little bit of a bust since being a first-round pick? He broke Reggie White's sack record at Tennessee. Yeah, he's been a little bit underwhelming. But I do think that Derek Barnett has good football left in the tank. Teams are always starved for pass rushers. And the Eagles are extremely deep along the defensive line. Barnett has a lot of ability. And what if I told you that his numbers in his first 6 years were very similar to Brandon Graham's numbers? Remember the chaos and the drama around Brandon Graham? The Eagles took him out of Michigan over Earl Thomas, and everybody wanted a safety. Everybody wanted Earl Thomas. To start his career, Earl Thomas was arguably the best safety in the NFL. Brandon Graham was a little bit inconsistent with his production. He got a little bit banged up. The sack numbers weren't there. How this story has turned. Earl Thomas has gone nutty in a bedroom with his brother. Brandon Graham is still playing, and Brandon Graham has turned into a Philadelphia Eagles hero, a guy who is a franchise icon, a guy who, if the Eagles didn't have him as far as their locker room culture, it wouldn't be the same. He has developed into one of the best Eagles of all time. Now, over the first 6 years for BG, got off to a little bit of a slow start. 80 games as compared to Derek Barnett's 65, because Barnett tore his ACL last year, so he missed all that time. But look at these similarities in sacks. Brandon Graham, with 15 more games played, only had 2 more sacks than Derek Barnett. Quarterback hits, 76 for DB, 43 for BG. Hurries, 92 to 179. That's always been Brandon Graham's forte. He's also really good against the run, but tackles for loss, Derek Barnett's been pretty good in that category as well, 38 to 36. I make this comparison not just because they're both first-round picks, got off to a sluggish start to start their NFL careers. They were labeled busts. I make this comparison most importantly because they have very similar playing styles. They are just pure defensive ends. Old school brute force guys who don't have an array of pass moves. Sometimes they beat you with that bull rush. They beat you with that quick step off the line of scrimmage. They are pass rush technicians. And I think that Derek Barnett can surprise a lot of people this year. Now, of course, with Derek Barnett, there are a lot of penalties that come into play, which are problematic, but we can jinx that together here. Like the video so that Derek Barnett will stop committing penalties, because that's one thing that's held him back, and that's a big reason why people have grown tired of him. Another trade candidate here to round out the show. Appreciate all of you for watching, by the way. Greedy Williams at cornerback. Him and Rashaad Penny, 2 acquisitions for Philadelphia this offseason, but the Eagles are deep at running back. They're also deep at the cornerback spot. Why Greedy could get dealt. Greedy has pedigree. He had a solid 2021, second-round pick out of LSU in 2019. Had a sporadic 2022. That Browns defense was a disaster, and they fired their defensive coordinator. I think he suffered from a lack of confidence. You know what the Eagles instill? Confidence. Culture. You know what the Browns don't do? Have a good culture. That's why they have one winning season since the early, 1990s? Teams are hungry for cornerbacks too, just like the Eagles always are. And could Greedy start somewhere on the outside as compared to maybe being a backup on the outside or even a backup in the slot? I think the Eagles pretty set in this secondary. It's going to hinge a lot on the pass rush that they can generate up front, because look, if the quarterback doesn't have time to survey the field, to go through his progressions, to pick you apart, then that makes the back end's job a little bit easier. Name a player the Eagles could trade. We listed a few on today's show. Did I miss one? Did I include one that you agree with? Let me know. Share your thoughts down below, and do not forget to subscribe right here on Philadelphia Eagles Now. Questions coming in. Kane Angel. I read the article about Nick Foles coming back to the Eagles, but is it true? It is not true. Nick Foles is not going to come back. If he ever comes back to Philadelphia, I think Nick Foles comes back to the Eagles to retire as a franchise icon and legend. Billy the Birdman Bolden. By the way, Marcus Mariota is going to be your backup anyway. You're not going to bring in Nick Foles as QB3. Plus, a lot of drama would happen there with him winning that Super Bowl. Billy the Birdman Bolden. Who is the best player on the Eagles? Wow, that's a good question. The best player on the Eagles. Hassan Reddick is the name that Trace and I just said at the same time. Lane Johnson, Jason Kelsey. They're 2 of the best at their respective positions all time. Jalen Hurts can be thrown into that as well, but there are other better players who are better than him at quarterback, but those are some that come to mind. Darius Slay can maybe thrown in there, even though he tailed off a little bit at the end of last year. Ryan Rowe, do you think we can acquire Budda Baker and DeAndre Hopkins to get enough help for Jalen Hurts, improving the secondary and just getting better talent? If I were to guess, I would say no. Those moves do not happen. Budda Baker, a little bit expensive. DeAndre Hopkins, if he's released, what did he say this week on the I Am Athlete podcast about what he wants on his next team? Quarterback who loves the game, Jalen Hurts does. Stable management, Jeffrey Lurie, Howie Roseman offer you that. Great defense, Eagles have that. So there you go, D-Hop. You want to win a ring? Come to Philly. Here's our Super Chat menu. We are up to $237 in donations and tips. I cannot thank you enough. We feel so blessed to do what we do here, and you make our job a blast every single day. Ring the Liberty Bell. We'll do that for 5. 10, beer cheers. 20, Trace will take some shots. 50, beer bong or a funnel. $100, shotgun in sub 4 seconds. We did 4 segments today. A lot of great super chats came in. A lot of great questions as well. But let me throw this out there. We are going to set our 2-minute super chat shot clock up. So 2 minutes left on the clock. If you want us to stay live, send in a super. With every super chat that comes in, we extend the clock back to 2 minutes. In the meantime, you can ask me questions. We can continue to chop it up. You can ask us literally anything down in the comments. And we'll do all these things on the super chat menu.
Don't make us go do work. We don't want to go do work.
No, we don't want to go do work.
Happy hour. That's what we want. That's what we want.
Thumbo! Oh! Romeo! 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 only got done that sentence and Romeo sends in a 100. Thumbo! Coming in with the $5 donation. How many sacks do you see Jalen Carter getting this year? Jalen Carter sacks. Let's be modest about it. Let's go 5. 5 as a rookie is a great number. For instance, Fletcher Cox had 7 last year. Javon Hargrave had 11. So if you have a rookie who might even be a backup with 5 sacks, a lot of quarterback pressure, is good against the ground game. I think sacks sometimes, Thumbo, too, are a little bit overrated, right? I kind of look at sacks sometimes as wins and losses for a pitcher in baseball. You could have a sub-3 earned run average. You could be 5-20. Does that mean that you're an awful pitcher? No. That means that every time that you go out, you're giving up less than 3 runs, right? Sacks sometimes don't tell the full story. Brandon Graham, a great example of that. We showed you that graphic earlier about how many quarterback hurries he's had throughout his career. He's never been a big sack guy. He's this far into his NFL career, and coming off the torn Achilles last year as an old head, guy had a career high 11. He's never had more than that in his NFL career. That was his career high. So let's go 5 with Jalen Carter. I like that. I like that. Got to reset the shot clock here for sure after those big boys came in. Trace, you have that other happy dad?
I do.
Let's shotgun this piece for Romeo. Oh, man, I already did the 1 earlier. Sub-4. This is going to be a challenge. So I'm still feeling the effects of that other one.
Do you want the Kraken?
It's not going to allow me to do it sub-4, but we do have a new shotgun device.
Another 100, I'll use it.
50?
50, I'll use it.
Another 50, Trace will use our new shotgun device, which is actually pretty awesome. We haven't been able to show you it because we haven't gone live here on the show. We're up to $342 in donations after the 100 from Romeo! You know what's cool about Romeo? Lives here in Texas.
Oh, no shit.
Romeo's a Texas guy.
That's bitching.
It's bitching. That's bitching, partner. All right, let's see.
And there's the guy.
If we get another 100, we'll go onto the Raiders report. We're going to steal their gong.
They have like a legit gong.
A legit gong that like sits on the table. It's massive, and we'll hit that. We'll steal it for 100.
I know y'all want to see the gong.
It's pretty loud, too.
It's freaking insane.
Thumbo, ew, Texas. No, Texas is a great state, man. Great weather, very affordable.
Good food.
Great food.
Good people.
Good people. People are nice. I'm from Philly. People are nicer down here. Got to say it. And the affordability of the city and great weather year-round, very tough to beat. Never mind, you and Eagle. Exactly, Thumbo. Thumbo! I like that name. All right, sub-4 here. I promised it. We got to deliver. We're at 150 on the Super Chat shot clock, too, by the way. I do want to stay live and chop it up with everybody. Going to start it on the crack. Sub-4.
Rip it, tip it, and sip it, baby. Let's go.
Here we go. That was pretty fast.
You ready for the big reveal?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Faster than the original.
2.67.
It's faster than the original one. That's sick.
Not too much spillage, although the hole was very large.
Giggity.
Bonk.
You gotta love sipping out of a large hole.
Romeo with the good point. It's the only state great enough to be its own country.
Facts.
Facts. I became an Eagles fan during post-graduation on the East Coast.
That's cool.
But Texas is where it's at. Where did you go to school, Romeo?
Sunjack. Eagles fan living in Texas surrounded by sharks. You over in the Gulf? You over in South Padre Island?
Or just Cowboys fans?
That's true.
Narcs
Narcs.
and not sharks.
All right, guys.
What are you saying, Thumbo?
He done. Damn. I think he was like saying you're damn. That was
Long
fast.
Island, New York. Nice, Romeo. I've never been to Long Island.
Old
That's
Rolly
awesome,
might have been. Rolly might have been.
Nah, he's from Rochester,
he's
dude.
Rochester,
That's way inland. New York is a sneaky large state.
Yeah, I never
A
been.
lot of ground in New York, especially east to west.
Unfortunately, I've never been.
Scott,
Pennsylvania.
Shippensburg, Pennsylvania. Nice. Yeah, where are y'all watching from? Let us know. We're $8 away from $3.50. $8 away from $3.50. We are past the 2 minutes on the shot clock, but you know what? Everybody's been so kind to us with the words and with the super chats. We're down to hang out for a little while. Used to go to Ship. Fun times from Josh Fever. Nice. Thumbo got to visit Texas. I'm in South Carolina. Nice. South Carolina's cool.
I want to go to
Drove through South Carolina en route to where did I go in Georgia? The place with the ghosts. Cool town.
Savannah?
Savannah.
Yeah.
Savannah. Willow trees everywhere.
Savannah's dope.
Philip, Germany.
I came in for the salt. What do we need to get the salt
Elijah!
on
That!
20 super!
That!
Tej, he's going to do some smelling salts now. Here he comes.
Giggity.
He's going to come on air.
I'm gonna come.
Hello, Eagle fan.
Hello. Good.
TJ's gonna come.
Doing the smelling salts for 20. It's good stuff right there. That'll wake you up.
For Elijah. Come forth.
Bethlehem, PA in the house. Corey, Syracuse, New York.
Anybody from the Jersey Shore out there tonight?
Didn't see anybody in the Jersey Shore, no.
I would love it.
Thumbo just visited Palm Beach last week. Jersey Shore's a good time. Got a lot of different options.
Romeo says, I'm one of the few Texans that hate the Cowboys. Bro, growing up in Texas, I hated the Cowboys.
Elite. My mom got me that back in the day when I was a young buck, yeah.
You're a young bull?
Young bull. Young bull.
Senior bull.
Huge Eagle fan from Germany from Philip. Philip, 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 Philip. Elijah, McMinnville, Tennessee. Took yesterday through tomorrow off to take full advantage of Memorial Day weekend. I love it.
What we're all doing today?
Yeah, it's Teacher's birthday. Happy birthday, Teach. So we're going to smoke some cigars and take down some Mexican food tonight. That's what we're doing. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, brother.
We're going to do it for the NFC champs.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah.
So we're at 362 in supers.
Get to 400.
The remaining, if we get the 400, the remaining 38 goes to Teacher for his birthday tonight, for some birthday drinks. That'll probably get him a cigar, honestly.
$38. Birthday celebration.
Birthday cigar.
Birthday cigar.
Birthday cigar for 38.
I'll even put it on the Eagle head.
He'll put on the Eagle Head if we get the 400. And smoke the cigar in the Eagle Head, maybe.
$38.
In the studio.
In the studio.
I have a cigar in my car.
You'll have to go get the cigar and come
I was
back out.
I have a cigar in my backpack.
I say, I wish I was kidding when I said a cigar in my car.
Josh Fever finna rip some cigars. Nice. Enjoy the cigars if you have them. That's fine. Cool. Hey, man, I can't say I'm in a rush for a Daryl Morey Big Cam. It's all good, brother. Appreciate you, man.
Sam just looks big.
So yeah, we get the 400. Tej puts the Eagle Head on, and then we'll use that money to get him a birthday cigar tonight. Let's go 2 minutes on the clock. If not, we'll sign off, and it's all good.
Reminder, if we get a $100 super chat, we're stealing the gong from the Raiders channel.
Oh! Romeo! 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 Fly, Eagles, fly on the road to victory. Fly, Eagles, fly. Score a touchdown, 1, 2, 3. Hit 'em low, hit 'em high, and watch our Eagles fly. Fly, Eagles, fly on the road to victory. E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles! That's a cigar for Teacher.
Thank you, Romeo.
Thanks, Romeo.
Romeo.
Happy B-Day, man.
Romeo.
Light up a nice one. We will.
Now my Romeo.
Romeo! See, at this place that we're going, you can only get good cigars. Oh, man. Cali Green, fight, fight, fight. You already know. Scott, Eagles. We got past 412, or we're at 412. We got past 400. 8 more? Oh, for 420.
Yeah.
8 more for 420.
Nice.
I know there are some Bud aficionados here in the
Where's
chat.
Dreadhead?
Yeah.
On that note,
Where's
I'm outta
Potion?
here, bud.
I know he's celebrating.
Yeah, where's
Eagles
Potion?
fan,
Hey, thanks,
you.
Tej.
Let's have a good night.
Go Birds. Go Birds. Wow. Should we sign off? S for stay, L for leave. What should we do? S for stay, L for leave. I love how Romeo comes in
Cool. Sounds good.
at the perfect times. He's got this knack for coming in at the most perfect times.
11th hour, 10th hour. He's there no matter what.
Josh Fever says stay. Scott, stay. Michael, stay. Ask me some questions then.
Let's go.
Ask me some questions. Are we going to get to 500? Are we going to fuck around and get to 500?
I think we should fuck around and get to 500. I think we have to, right?
I'll do a beer bong. We're at 412 right now. You want to do a weigh-in too?
Yeah.
Dang, Romeo, can I get a loan from you? Exactly, no interest. Romeo, legend. See, Thumbo, that's the beauty of living in Texas. No state income tax. We can save money so that we can send in super chats here. Josh Fever, F around and find out. What's up, Chief? We did Warriors. Hell yeah. You already know. Go Birds. Ooh. Jack Lauderay, who's a film critic, just said Invincible is the best sports movie of all time. Vince Papali. I happen to agree.
Invincible, greatest sports movie of all time.
Great movie. Great movie. Mark Wahlberg did a great job. Yeah. G-Word or Covey for returns? I'd go Covey, more elite speed. Let's take a look at these questions. Middle linebacker issue. Did y'all already cover that today? No, but I think Nakobe Dean's going to be just fine. I think Nakobe Dean's going to be fine. I think he's going to be one of those breakout candidates. I got a kiddo in school. I can't do what y'all are doing from Jeff. All good, bro. Take care of the kid. Thumbo, looking on Zillow for a house in Texas right now. But I'm not Mott. I am Chase. Looking
Not
forward
Chad
to our
either.
next trotter holding down the middle earth. Exactly, Romeo. No doubt. Jeff, we'll see. Like, Nakobe Dean's a little bit undersized, but I will say his instinctual style for the game and feel for the game allows him to make up for that size with the early diagnosing skills. I think he's going to really surprise a lot of people. He was a baller. I mean, a straight-up stud at Georgia. So we're at 412 in donations. Here's our super chat menu. Take a look at some more questions here. Nakobe top 5 this year. As far as linebackers in the NFL, that's rich. Who should we sign next and why? From Scott. Good question. How about DJ Fluker? I mean, he worked out for the Eagles. You could have a little bit more depth if you sign him at guard or tackle. He's played both throughout his career. He looks to be in really, really good shape. You pair him up with Jeff Stoutland. Let's go DJ Fluker there. Jeff, gots to run. Be good, dude. Salute, brother. Here we go. Super chat race. We're at 412 right now. The goal, 500. So simple math tells me that we're 88 away, and I failed elementary algebra at Temple University. If we don't get there, it is legit all good. But if y'all want us to hang around, that's the number that we can shoot for here. I'd love to see Devontae run the table this year from Romeo. Run the table as far as what? Receptions and receiving yards and touchdowns among the wide receivers? I imagine that's what you're saying. Yeah, Scott, you can always use help along the offensive line. You can never have enough depth there. All right, 2-minute warning. 2 minutes. 2 minutes on the clock. Final call here. What a day, man. We haven't gone live since the NFL draft, and it has been a blast, but you also got some great content as well. 4 segments in the can. We did talk about the Julio Jones rumors. I'm going to put that video officially on the channel here in a little while. You can also scroll back and watch it on this show, as we've been live now for about an hour and a half or so. What else? Trade candidates on the Eagles roster, cut candidates on the Eagles roster. We got an interesting question about whether or not to trade Dallas Goedert, and we spent some time on that. That was interesting too. Is Fluker going to be a tackle from Romeo? So he's played tackle, he's played guard. So he can play both. And he's played both throughout his career. I like the interchangeability, if that's a word, and the versatility along the offensive line for linemen. Like Tyler Steen out of Alabama, that's why I like that pick. He played tackle primarily at Alabama, but if he's not fast enough to play tackle, he can play guard. Always use depth there. Robert Alessandrini, smash that thumbs up icon. You already know, brother. 1:17 on the shot clock. If you want us to extend, send in a super chat tip. If not, we're out. It has been awesome today. Thanks to Romeo for getting Teacher that cigar for his birthday. And Teacher put on the Eagle foam head.
Very nice. Great success.
20 seconds left. Any more questions inside these 20 seconds? I'm looking through it. I think we hit everything. Oh, Son Jack, AJ or Devontae Smith more receiving yards? What if Devontae beats him this year? AJ got him this past year in 2022. So that could be interesting. All right. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll give you about a 20-second delay because some people like to watch on delay. Good question from Josh Fever. Kaiser or Nicholas Morrow? Similar players. I think it's going to be about a wash. Very similar between those two. Romeo, be cool, birds. You be cool as well, my brother.
Stay cool so you don't have to get cool, my man.
Exactly right. All right, we're going to sign off here. What a great live show today. Hope you all enjoyed the content. If you did, subscribe, like the video if you haven't already done so. We'll be back, I believe, next week, although I am going to be doing some NBA Finals watch parties as well. You can also hang out with us there on our main Chat Sports YouTube channel. For Trizzy, I'm Chase, all of the Bird Gang. Fly, Eagles, fly. Go Birds. Peace.